y'all? It's your boy Big Stu
and Kayla,
and welcome back to
Ballin' with the Ballards. So today is part 2 of our Valentine series. So in the spirit of Valentine's Day, we have cookies. So we bought a Valentine cookie kit, and we're each going to decorate a couple cookies. And at the end of the video, we're going to show you our cookies, and you are going to vote for who had the best cookie. Good plan. So let's start with 2, and then if we have time, we can grab another one. I think I'm gonna go XO and the lips.
I'm gonna go with the. I guess I got your heart on lock.
Smooth.
And I guess I gotta go with the lips also.
Okay. So we got. It comes with some things. So we have black icing, which seems a little redundant for Valentine's Day. Some pink icing.
Got the
white icing. These big heart sprinkles.
Yeah, we got these
red glittery sprinkles. Oh. But you're not just going to watch us make some cookies. We are also going to tell you a story.
It's a very, very good, entertaining story. I mean, it's jaw-dropping. And this story is going to be about our terrible, terrible experience of our first and only double date.
Emphasis on only.
Yeah, emphasis on only.
You will very quickly see why it was our only.
So just give us a second to get prepared.
Packaging is always way harder than you think it's going to be.
Spill those sprinkles everywhere.
I'm trying not to. I make no problem. There we go. Oh, I got skills. Okay, we lost a couple, but it's okay. Thank you for your sacrifice. They can still go.
Come on now. Right.
There we go. Okay. So we are all set. So, Stuart, why don't you start us off on set the scene for him for how this date got started.
Okay, so we had been dating for, would you say, we had been dating for about a month.
Almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months, I'm sorry. We had been dating for almost 2 months at this time. Things were going really, 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 really well for us. Kayla had a friend who, why don't you tell them that?
Okay, so I had a friend. Her name is Listerine, but she goes by Listy for short. And she saw how happy me and Stuart were. And she, kind of was like, hey, if he has any friends, I wouldn't mind being set up. I'm looking for something. So we set up a double date with Stuart's friend, Buns. Now, Listy, I love her. I met her. She used to live across the hall from me. But she's a little high maintenance, a little high strung, a little uppity. Love her. But so then enter Buns, Stuart's friend.
Yeah. Now Buns is, I guess for lack of better words, he's a little rough around the edges. A guy who's not afraid to say what's on his mind. Everybody has one of those friends who's just going to say exactly how he feels, not really caring about the results or the ramifications. And that's Buns,
To a T.
And then also, Buns, if you know who Kodak Black is, Buns has, dreads like Kodak Black. It could be a little intimidating, a little off-putting, but, he has a good heart.
You got to with hair like that.
Yeah.
So we set them up. Oh, sorry. Also, I have a spatula and a fork if you need those. So we set them up on this double date. And so we went to a pretty fancy Chinese restaurant. And, of course, so Stuart and Buns want to make a good impression, of course. So they beat us to the restaurant, get us a table. Me and List. Okay, I don't run late, but I run right on time. So we get there, right on time. And the gentlemen are already there. And like he said, Buns has some interesting hair. So she was a little taken aback by that. I think her exact words were, he looks like a tarantula-haired fool, I believe.
Yeah.
So not off to a very great start.
Not at all.
But me and Stuart are said to make it a good time. So I said it was a nicer restaurant, and by nice we mean expensive. So everyone else kind of orders modestly. You know, trying to kind of keep it at a decent price range.
Did you say it was a Chinese restaurant?
Yeah. But Listy did not. Of course, she wanted to be Listy. Of course, so she orders the most expensive thing on the menu. Of course, Buns has something to say about that, and that just set the tone for the evening.
Yeah, because, we got, I think I got, shrimp fried rice. I think Buns got shrimp fried rice.
Right.
What did you get?
I think I had the prawns.
You got some prawns, but then she got, like, lobster tail. And Buns was like, it's expensive because it only says seasonal. Like, there's not an actual price.
Right.
And so, like, they're probably about to charge you, a crazy amount of money. And like I said, he has no filter. Like, if he feels it, he's going to say it. And so that kind of rubbed
Listy the wrong way. Yeah. Because she has no problem speaking her mind back. So that starts, I don't even remember what kept going on, but so they got into a big argument with each other. So our waiter comes over because they're making a scene. They then both get into an argument with the waiter. Mm-hmm. And we all got kicked out of the restaurant.
Yeah, we all got booted.
That was embarrassing. But me and Stuart are still trying, but they kind of they strangely bonded over getting kicked out of a restaurant. Right. We have interesting friends, y'all. And so we decided that, and we are making the best of this time. Right. And we still want to see each other. And so we decided we were going to go. There's a place we could play pool down the road, or down the street. So we headed there to play some pool. Am I still talking? You gonna hop in?
Hold on, I'm focused on making, this is a competition. I can't let you win. Okay, so like she said, we decided to make the most of the time that night. So we decided to go to the pool hall, and me and Buns, this is what we do. Like we get busy in the pool hall. We can handle our own, and we like Listerine, whatever her name is. Like, man, ain't no way she playing no pool. Like, she prissy, she high maintenance. Ain't no way she done got down and dirty in the pool hall. And so we take them for granted, and we talking mad stuff, and we like, shoot, let's make it interesting. Let's put some money on the line. Thinking we gonna clean them up. And
then it was Listy was well off, and her dad had a big fancy pool table at their house. So she grew up playing pool.
So it went bad. Like they
for them.
They cleaned us out. Like,
so I'm glad it was them because I don't play pool. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, they cleaned us out. Specifically Listy.
Yeah, Listy made us lots of money that night. But so we do a little dancing. We're having a good time. So, if anything, I don't know if they necessarily were getting along, but they at least were like amused and intrigued by each other at this point. They didn't completely hate each other's guts. So we go back to my apartment to play some cards. But like I said, this was not the original plan. So we were really not prepared for, I wasn't prepared really for guests. And Listy was still like moving into the apartment, so she, had like not like bought groceries or anything. So we sent the guys out on a grocery run. So I'm going to let you tell this part since you actually lived it and I did not.
Yeah, so they sent us out on a grocery run to get a few snacks.
And we sent them with the dog.
Yeah, so the dog needs to go out. Her little, whatever dog. Her little Jack Russell needed to go out. So we took the dog with us. We're thinking we're going to be in and out the store real quick. It's just us, a local convenience store that's right around the corner. We're going to tie the dog up to a pole. That was a bad idea, obviously. And you'll find out later why. And so we go in, we get our snacks real quick. And then when we come out, like, the dog is not where the dog was when we left it. And so now we like panicking because like she loves her dog. Like
I do.
It's basically like it's like a kid to her, like her child. And so we're panicking. We're looking all over the streets for the dog, and it's nowhere to be found. And so at some point, we just kind of like, all right, we're just gonna have to go face the music, and hopefully she don't freak out too much, and we can still, have a good night. And guess what? Lo and behold, guess where your dog was at?
Waiting on the steps for you.
That stupid dog was waiting on the steps. I don't mean to call your dog stupid, but
he's smarter than you.
I guess so. But that night, he was a stupid dog, and he was waiting at the steps. So we like, oh snaps! Woo! We caught a break. Hey, I told Buns like, let's not even mention it. Like, as far as they know, we walked the dog and let it do his thing, and everything went well. So we came back with the snacks.
What they didn't know, and I don't think even I knew at the time, was that Listy only eats gluten-free. She's not celiac, or has celiac. I don't know the proper.
I don't even know what that is.
She doesn't have an allergy or an intolerance. She just refuses to eat gluten. So she demands, and I kind of plead for the guys to go back and make round 2 and try to get something that is gluten-free that Listy can also enjoy. So, back out the guys go, this time without the dog. Okay, sorry, we had some technical issues, but we're back.
We're back.
So, where did we leave off? We sent you guys back out for snacks.
Yeah.
Here, are you still decorating, or are you done decorating already?
I'm still decorating.
Okay. Okay, never mind. Continue with the story.
And so, I talked about how the dog...
We came back. Listy was upset with the snacks.
Right. And
we sent you guys back out, which you guys weren't happy about.
Yeah, so they sent us back out. We were a little frustrated, like, we was ready to, really sit down and kick it, but hey, we got to do what we had to do. And so we go back out to the same convenience store to go get some gluten-free snacks. I don't even know, do they make? Yeah. Okay. So we go back and we go get some gluten-free snacks. And me and Buns we're like in the back of the store. Searching for gluten-free snacks, and Buns like tapped me and was like, oh man, I think he saw that somebody at the register looked like they was holding up the register. And so me and Buns, being the stand-up guys we were, even though dude had a gun, we were like, I don't think he's aware that we're back here. So we grabbed whatever weapon we could find, and we were like, we're gonna sneak up on him and knock him out. And so we get on our ninja step on, and we slide up and get close to him. But then he looked through like the mirror, like the theft mirror or the circle mirror thing, and he saw us somehow. Like he just happened to see us, and he turned around and pulled the gun out on us, and we froze and tried to act like we was just trying to walk out or something. And next thing you know, the dude behind the register, the owner, just pulls out like a semi-automatic weapon and just start letting that thing rip. I mean, he ain't hit nothing but everything in the store, and he just let it rip. Me and Buns hit the ground, but he emptied the clip, and dude got back up, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna get bad. So I just swung off on him and knocked him out. And at that point, we was like, forget the snacks. Like, we just trying to get back to the house. And so we ran back to the house as fast as we could. But Listy was...
So then Listy sees them come in empty-handed. And of course has to speak her mind, which Buns also speaks his mind. At this point, the guys are understandably frustrated. So they pop off that they're just going to leave. Like, forget it, whatever, we're going home. And at one point, I think Stuart made a comment about how, how they almost got shot for us type thing.
Right.
And at that point, we're like, what did you just say? And so we chase them out the door. And, we finally get him to calm down enough to talk to us and explain what happened. Buns is still ticked, and so he's trying to hail a cab. Like he said, Buns has some crazy hair, a little rough around the edges. So he starts yelling and waving at taxis, and none of them are stopping. Well, one of them ends up, he finally has had enough because he's ready to go home because, you know, he's been like shot out and stuff today. And so he so he just stands in the road and stops this cab. So the cabbie thought that he was getting like, getting robbed, yeah. Held up, that's what the word I was looking. And so he pulls out his gun.
Mm-hmm.
And fires it at Buns. Now, luckily, the gun didn't go off. Well, this freaks the guy out. So because he thinks he's getting mugged, and now he's ticked the robber off. So he runs, and as he runs, he drops the gun.
Bow, dropped it.
Well, when he dropped, it went off and grazed Stuart's leg.
Graze? You call it a graze?
It didn't go in you.
You call it a graze? Oh, it's
okay.
Easy for you to say. Yeah, okay.
He got hit by the bullet, but it did not enter his leg. He didn't directly get shot. Is that a fair statement?
I guess that's fair.
Okay. So now he's bleeding. We got this cab in the middle of the street. We're like, what in the world is going on? So we hop in and we fly to the hospital. Because like I said, he's bleeding. And it's not like crazy, but like blood is just scary in general.
Right.
So off we go to the hospital. We get him there. We tell him what happened. We're like, you know, he needs to get it clean and it looks like it might need some stitches.
Yeah, I was hurt, man.
Well, of course, it was supposed to be a regular old double date. Mm-hmm. So he didn't have his insurance card on it.
Oh, left it at the house.
Because he wasn't planning on, like, going to
urgent
care.
Shot, you know.
Or to the hospital.
Who plans for that?
And they're like, well, no insurance. Like, we're not seeing you. Mm-hmm. Go to your doctor, you know. Or go home and get your insurance card and come back. And we're like, no, like, my boyfriend's bleeding. Like, I'm not just leaving, you know. Like, so, Buns being Buns gets creative. And he decides he's going to impersonate a doctor.
Yeah, he's very good at impersonating.
So he grabs a jacket that has a tag on it, grabs a wheelchair, sneaks him off to triage. So I'll let you tell this part because this is me just hearsay from you. So.
And so Buns, he sneaks me off to triage. Basically, you know, the paperwork says, you know, I need whatever surgical procedure I need or whatever attention I need. So we're good to go. But Buns, for whatever reason, he got distracted.
Because he's Buns.
Yeah, and so I didn't even know at the time. I found out later that, like, the paperwork got switched up. And so now instead of getting, you know, surgical, not even surgical.
You just need it cleaned up in, like, stitches.
Cleaned up in stitches. Like, now, the paper said that I was going to having to get an appendectomy. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, an appendectomy. But didn't they, so you, like, had gotten cleaned and stitched up, but then they stuck you back, like, in, like, an area to wait, right? Because they had given you some medicine.
Right, okay, yeah, I was a little drowsy, so, again, this is them recollecting the story.
This is what we can piece together from everyone, like, what happened with everyone. Because it was late, or early, whatever, but it was a ridiculous hour. Mm-hmm. It was a long, crazy night, and, yeah, it was a little haywire. But so, me and Listy, so Buns has taken him off. Me and Listy are waiting in the waiting room. And we're like, man, like, this is kind of taking a long time, you know, like, for some stitches. And then we hear the doctors, like, looking, like, they found the real doctor. They're trying to figure out who in person, like, who's walking around pretending to be him. I'm like, crap. So, me and Listy sneak back, and we are looking for Buns. And we find Buns, but he has lost Stuart. So, like, crap. So, now we're all running around trying to find Stuart. At this point, he was loopy from the medicine they gave him. And he has been whisked off to the OR for this appendectomy that he, you know, the paperwork said that he needed. And So I'm like banging on the OR door, and they're like trying to stop. They're like, "What are you doing?" Like, sterile environment, blah blah blah, all that jazz. And I'm trying to explain the situation. They're like, no, like we've checked in, blah 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 blah. So then I said the magic words. I yelled, "But he doesn't have insurance." I've never seen so many hands come back so fast. I've never seen them push a man out of the OR so fast. I've never seen anyone get like the stamp of approval, okay, you're safe to go home, released as fast as I have that night / morning. I don't even know what time it was, so it was ridiculous.
It was late, yeah.
It was ridiculous. But yeah, so that was the magic word, and they, he had to sit there until he kind of came to, and we, it's kind of one of those like, well, how about we just don't tell people that you must cut this man's appendix out, and we call it good. And so they said they released him real fast, and we all went home, and he healed up okay.
Yeah, and we called it a night. But yeah, that's our crazy double day night. Again, I'll probably I'll never go on another double date. Never. They're forbidden. Forbidden.
We thought about writing into our wedding vows, and I vowed to never ask you for a double date.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our amazing double date story.
Hope you got some.
It's hard to believe, Yeah.
Okay, so before we wrap up, are we gonna submit all of our cookies, or are we going to each pick one cookie to submit for the contest?
I'll just say pick one.
Okay.
I don't like this way this is looking.
I had a really cool idea for one, and it just didn't turn out like I was hoping it turned out. So, okay, I think I'm going to submit my XO one. And I'll also insert pictures so you can see them better.
And this is my, it's hard to tell what it does.
Because you have to you have to use the icing as the sprinkle glue, my love.
I did.
Okay. But I will insert pictures somewhere on this screen.
This is supposed to be hard on lock. But I don't know what. Yeah.
It's okay. They'll all taste the same, right? So make sure that you hit the like button if you haven't already, which I hope you have. You've already hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because you won't want to miss Monday's video, and you especially won't want to miss next Friday's video where we wrap up our Valentine series.
The finale.
That's all we got. So once again, thanks for Ballin' with the Ballards.